Do you need a sewing machine cover? Is this what you want to make? Let's go make it. I started with one piece of fabric, 17 inches wide, 28 inches long. Now, I measured my sewing machine. I measured the height, the width, and then I measured all the way over to see how big I needed my fabric to be. If you have a Singer patchwork or something similar, this probably works for you, but measure your machine just to be sure, okay? So, what did I tell y'all? Oh, 17 wide, 28 long. Two pieces, 6.5 inches wide and 11 inches long. Now, if you wanted to quilt it, you would do that to all of these pieces before you do the next step. I'm using this precious tomato pincushion fabric, and it's cotton canvas. It's a little bit heavier. I'm not quilting mine, but if you want to, I want you to. You would just quilt it first, and then you would follow these steps. This is for the outside of our sewing machine cover. Then I have two pieces, 6.5 by 11, and one piece, 17 by 28. This is for the lining. So the lining pieces are essentially exactly the same as the front pieces, only a different fabric. Measurements are the same. 17 by 28, two 6.5 by 11 for the outside, one 17 by 28, two 6.5 by 11 for the inside, okay? The first thing I'm gonna do is lay my piece of fabric, see if I can find the corner for y'all, up here in the corner. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna sew it to here, and then we're gonna turn our piece of fabric, and we're gonna sew to here, and then we're gonna turn our piece of fabric, and we're gonna sew to the end, just like this. 1/4 inch seam, back stitch when you start and when you stop, because my grandma said so. You're gonna get your 1/4 inch seam by following the edge of your fabric with the edge of your presser foot.
I measured my sewing machine and added 2 inches.
And when I get about 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch from the very end, I'm gonna raise my presser foot, pull this fabric over, and I'm gonna start sewing again. Same thing, about 1/4 of an inch from the edge. We wanna put our needle down, raise our presser foot, turn our fabric.
These covers are going to look so nice on all of my sewing machines.
Hallelujah. Do you see that? Oh my goodness, look what you just did. Now, we're going to go do the same thing to the other end.
So I measured the width of my sewing machine, added 2 inches. I measured the height of my sewing machine, added 2 inches. And then I measured from the bottom of my sewing machine up to the top, across, and down the other side, and added 2 inches.
Now, before you go any further, turn your cover right side out, slip it over your machine, and make sure that it fits, because we don't want to keep sewing if it doesn't fit. Now, mine is pretty generous. I made it loose because I'd rather a loose sewing machine cover than a tight one. Plus, I'm just walking through, slipping them over there, and going on about my business. So this one is not super snug, but it's snug enough. Okay, mine looks great, so I'm going to take it off. Now, I'm going to do the same thing to the lining of the bag. I'm going to take my pieces, and I'm going to sew them, put the short side on the short side, and you're going to sew the long side. You're going to sew here, and when you get to there, you're going to turn your fabric, sew, and then turn your fabric and sew again, and you're going to do that on both sides. Pretty side to pretty side, back stitch when you stop and when you start.
I cannot wait to see the sewing machine covers that y'all make, because I know they're already going to be precious. Don't forget to email me a photo to hometownquiltcompany@gmail.com, because I want to see, and so does everybody else. I love looking at your projects, and my students do too. They're emailing me their photos or texting them to me so that they can be added to the show and tell, because they want y'all to see what they're making.
Okay, now you have your lining inside out. Here's the pretty side of your lining. You have your outside fabric right side out. You're going to put your right side fabric down into your lining, match up your seams, and then you're just going to sew in one big circle, leaving a hole so you can turn it right side out. Y'all, this is so stinking cute.
And this is absolutely reversible, so use 2 of your favorite fabrics, and then depending on your mood, you can make your sewing machine as sassy or as sweet as you want it to be, or depending on your sewing machine's mood, because you know, sometimes mine are sassy, and sometimes they're super sweet to me.
Now, we're going to put our hand in the hole that we left, turn it right side out, push out our corners. Y'all already know the drill. Fingers, chopstick, handy dandy tool. Do not use your scissors. I tell y'all all the time, but I know y'all do it anyway. After we have it turned right side out, then we're going to push the lining down into our cover, and we're going to go iron it. I'm going to go iron mine. You go iron yours. I'll be right back. I'm back. I've ironed it, and here's my hole. Now, I'm going to top stitch all the way around, and when I top stitch, it's going to naturally close my hole. And that's it. We're going to be done.
So many of y'all have asked for a simple sewing machine cover tutorial. And y'all, this one is so easy peasy, great for a beginner, and it is super precious. And the mat underneath the sewing machine, precious too. It makes a great combo. Super practical and spruces up your sewing room.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh my goodness, y'all, it is so cute. Look what you just made in just a few minutes. My name is Tammy. I'm your favorite sewing teacher, and I would love for you to come sew with me.